Hey, everybody, this is Kevin, a CPA that does financial planning, talking again about high income. And if you're a high income earner or you're a couple that earns a high income, you can see here on the slides that we work on the interrelationship between investments, financial planning, and taxation. But today is more about behavioral finance and I think the largest issue that we have when we become high income. So Hade and I have been both high income and lower income during our working lives. And so we personally experienced this. I've talked to many other people and they've experienced it. It's lifestyle inflation. Now, I used to think that if you really were a certain type of person, you would not deal with lifestyle inflation, or it just means spending more than you used to spend because you make more. But having worked for a pharmaceutical company, then went out on my own, and now been doing financial planning for almost 11 years, I absolutely think that almost every human being, except maybe for certain people that just have a certain gene or something, is that we all, when we start making more money, we start to spend more money. And so I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the dynamic of it and then what to do about it. But the dynamic, if you've experienced this, is you go from a standpoint of feeling a little bit tight about your money. You're having trouble paying your bills. This is when you're lower income. You think maybe a little bit too much about money. You start to get upset about the fact that you can't do certain things, or that you run out of money and you start running up credit card debt. I mean, that's one of the ways where we can kind of disregard the fact that we don't have enough money to pay for things. We just start running up credit card debt. And then eventually we have to pay the piper quite literally. Eventually you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, we have to stop living like this. And then if you become high income after that, there then comes a time where all of a sudden you have enough. You have enough money. You don't have to worry so much about paying the bills. And so this is the time period when you're not getting that negative feedback anymore, and you're just spending more. You're saying, I'd like to do that. You spend the money. And it kind of comes out of our consciousness. So this to me is one of the biggest issues, and it's something that we can, I'm trying to move the slide along here, it's something that we can combat. But so when you go from quadrant one here, which is high income, low wealth, okay, now you're making a high income, you're spending all the money that you want to spend. I mean, some people will sometimes call us and say, hey, Kevin and Charlie, I'm just wondering, am I doing all the things I should be doing? We're saving for a 401k. And then we ask the question, well, how's your cash flow? And people say, oh, it's perfect, but I think we're spending too much money. So to go from quadrant one, which is high income, low wealth, to high income, high wealth, you probably have to do more than just saving in the 401k. And so you have to deal with this lifestyle inflation. And I'll give you an example. In 2017, if you made $200,000 married filing jointly, and you make, again, $200,000 in 2018, the amount of extra money that you will have because of the tax changes is somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000. And so you'll have more money to spend in 18 than 17. Either your bank account will start to swell up a little bit, or maybe you'll just have extra money in there and you'll go ahead and go on another vacation. But if you can make a decision that you want to get into this high income, high wealth bucket, and you want to save some of that extra money that you're getting from the tax savings, well, then you need to have a structure of where to put it. And there's definitely, some people say, well, taxes, you're going to have to pay them, death and taxes. Well, if you set up your financial affairs in the right way, you probably can get into that high income, high wealth bucket a lot sooner, because there are different types of investments. And the HSA is the health savings account. It has 3 triple tax savings. When you put money in, you get to defer it. When it grows in the HSA, health savings account, it grows tax-free. And then when you take it out, if you use it for medical, it comes out tax-free, okay? There's other types of accounts, such as traditional retirement accounts, 401ks, IRAs, etc., that you get double tax savings. And then, there's non-qualified annuities on the bottom. I'm not going to get into it, but So I think the key, and again, this might not be right for you, but why might you consider this? I think the key is to actually absolutely have a plan of attack when you're making high income. So you can get into a little lifestyle inflation. Everybody wants good things, new cars. We're not against that. But if you have a kind of a hierarchy, and this was put together by Michael Kitces, who's a planner that I just love. He's a planner's planner, and he put together the hierarchy of tax preference savings vehicles for high income earners. And we have the exact same type of hierarchy. Now ours is not nearly as colorful and as nice as his is, but he says emergency saving, job mobility on the bottom. Then the health savings account, once again, the health savings account. If you have a high deductible plan, that's the only way you're eligible for that. And then he talks about traditional and Roth and deferred compensation, such as 401k, 403b. He talks about 529s. After-tax IRA contributions, that's what we do with the backdoor Roth. But even if you have this hierarchy, and I'm happy to send you this hierarchy if you want it, even if you have this hierarchy, the key thing is going back to the behavioral part of this, the lifestyle inflation part of it, is you have to want to do something about it. If you make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year and you just spend and, I'm not going to worry about it, well, that's okay, but, you're not going to get into that quadrant 2 high income, high wealth place as soon as you could. And again, if you get here, the difference between quadrant 2 and quadrant 1 is quadrant 2 means you can leave work tomorrow and you'll have the exact same lifestyle. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Kevin Gormley, CPA, talking about lifestyle inflation and the fact that you should have a plan, you must have a plan if you want to make sure that lifestyle inflation does not get out of hand. So thanks for watching. Take care.